Y'all doing? So the first one today is going to be about Horace Grant, who called Michael Jordan a snitch and a liar at the documentary. And the documentary hasn't been positive on a whole. Um, well, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest NBA players ever, you know, and impact and what have you. He's also came off as a tyrant, bullish, one-sided, and just not very compassionate towards certain individuals. And Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen very close, and you could see that the Jordan Pippen dynamic, as big as it was on the court, didn't translate to other endeavors and other situations. So it's very odd. Obviously, you know about Jordan and Steve Kerr, and then you heard other stories. So it's a situation where it was very one sided. You know, it had a little bit of everything, and it was fascinating to kind of revisit to a certain extent. But it's also one of them things I don't want to watch it no time again ever, because it just made some old wounds come back up. And Horace Grant had every right. There's a reason why when Orlando beat Chicago, when Jordan made that little funky attempt to come back, his arrogance thought he could come back halfway in the season in the playoffs and could just like come back to where he was, and Orlando beat him. Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, and them lifted Horace out of Chicago Stadium. That was the last game played in the old school Chicago Stadium, and also was a statement. And that's why the Bulls went and got Dennis Rodman, because Horace Grant, time taken for granted, was an integral part of that first three-peat run, and you needed what he could do. And so they went and got Rodman. Were not for that, and I'll be real, if they were stuck with Will Purdue in that cast, they may have gone to a final, they may have gotten beat. Because they definitely were lighting the cakes. And Horace was a big contributor, more so, come to find out. And Horace did eventually later win a ring with Shaq and Kobe and them filling out in LA. But it's just making a point. However, he calls Jordan a snitch and a liar. And someone did leak information to Sam Smith, the Chicago Bulls beat writer, and things got said. And I don't think this documentary, I know the obvious is like this thing is about Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and I know how y'all at. However, if you have a documentary, you have to show all sides too. It makes it for more compelling. Horace's story, all these stories, the pros and the cons to air out. Because to make it look like Jordan this and all that, it doesn't leave a positive overall feel. I've already seen it. I saw it when lived through that era, and I'd already thought what I thought without even seeing it and reading various details and so on. But anyway, needless to say, Horace Grant got a strong case in point. And Jordan did not have a balance in this documentary. It did not balance, and I know Horace and Scottie were boys. It did not balance out Scottie. It did not balance out Horace. It did not balance Dennis Rodman out. It made him one-sided to an extent. They did talk about how athletic he was, but they just blurred it, you know. But they didn't really go into depth about how these guys practice, what they brought, the tangibles, and they didn't do enough to talk about their role, what they did. I can tell you sight on scene, remembering just off of memory, finals is in various finals that certain guys participate in, what their impact was, what they wasn't. And the Bulls weren't even my team. They're not my team. But I can tell you just on memory, guys' roles. Because one of the things that Phil Jackson's part of his legacy as a coach, everybody had a role to play. And there were certain roles that they all hit. And, you know, so anyway, that's my thoughts and takes about Horace Grant calling Michael Jordan a snitch and a liar. And there's some foolery to this document. It's just very one-sided, some fakery going on. But anyway, give me your thoughts, your takes, hit the like and subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another, and tell the whole story if you're going to tell it. Don't make it, even though one person may be the main character, don't let it be the end-all be-all, because there's other sides to the coin. There's three. I'm out.